We haven't had this story yet, right? We've had a lot of stories, huh? Yeah, we tell stories around here. We haven't had this story yet. So in front of me right now is the Campi Novi Brunello di Montalcino 2018. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, hey, Kyle, I've never seen the Campi Novi Brunello di Montalcino label before. What's Campi Novi Brunello di Montalcino? Glad you asked. I hadn't seen it before either. And that's because it's kind of a made-up label. But there's a reason for the made-up label. No, this isn't a private thing for us. No. This was a private thing for ... Russia. Yeah. The Russians special ordered some Brunello from a producer of one of the top estates in Montalcino, or two of the top estates in Montalcino, I'll say. And then, well, the fit hit the shan, shall we say, huh? That whole like Ukraine and a bit of a problem. So they did not take their wine. Accordingly, they didn't take the wine, so what happens? Who gets the phone call? Das vidanya! We hit the phone call. Yay! This is a great story. So basically the deal is, this is from Alejandro Bulgaroni. You know the Bulgaroni name, or you know his estates. The Bulgaroni estate in Napa is famous. Garzon in Uruguay, world famous. We did the Pursuit wines earlier, the Sauvignon Blanc from Pursuit that we had a great price on from him. Fabulous wine. Bulgaroni, billionaire businessman, loves wineries, loves owning wineries, loves making wine, and no expense spared at all of his properties, including Dievole and Chianti Classico, as well as his two, not one, but two Montalcino properties, Pedigree and Poggiolandi. And both of these properties are top-notch Montalcino properties. Now, we don't know which property or if a little bit of each or whatever this wine came from. We know he has two properties in Montalcino. We know they made this wine, and we know it comes from those two properties. The rest is up for speculation. What we do know is that the wine is a delight. We poured this wine in our tasting bar the other day, just with some of the folks in the tasting bar, and they were like, what the hell? And how can I get this? This wine's amazing. And part of that is because of the supple, juicy, forward, easygoing nature of the 2018 vintage in Montalcino. 2018, as opposed to 2017, which is a super hot vintage, the wines are tannic. They're severe, they're hard, they're chewy, they're abrasive, not acidic, but they're meh. And the 2018 Brunellos are, in fact, hey, how you doing? Oh my gosh, great to see you. Big plans for tonight? Would you like a glass of wine? I'm here for you. That's what 2018 does in Montalcino. Not the Vanguard of 19 or 21 coming down the pike, but this extremely pleasurable, juicy, friendly, forward vintage that the Russians would have loved. Sorry. Womp womp. What we can tell you about what Pedigree and Poggiolandi did in 2018 was at least 4 93 plus scores from Spectator, from Suckling, for both properties. So the base wine was at least 93 points from both Suckling and Spectator from both of these properties. They give you some idea of the quality in the bottle. All right. So basically the deal is if they peeled off a big barrel from this place and a big barrel from this place, or 2 big barrels from this place, it doesn't matter. All the juice was banging in 2018. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wines. So let's check out and see how beautiful it really is. I just said a lot. That was a lot of beautifuls. So this has to be at least beautiful like 4.
Not enough.
4 times. 4.
More.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Guess what? The wine's beautiful. Actually super classic in its approach, and some of the Bulgaroni properties, you do see some Barrique and that kind of stuff creeping in. I'm not quite sure the aging here, but this has that full-on classic Montalcinese, Slavonian oak, big bottle vibe, big barrel vibe to it, for sure, for sure. Classically styled Brunello di Montalcino, soft, supple tannins, tons of fruit in the mid-palate, and just opened, which by the way, we poured this for the crew a week ago. It had been open literally, I don't know, 7, 8 hours, and the wine was absolutely en fuego. What else did we talk about? Oh, well, you know, Kyle, what's the retail price of this fine wine? Glad you asked. There really was no retail price since it was going to Russia. So accordingly, we don't have a real retail price to fix off of. What you can do is look at the retail prices of things like Poggio Landi and Potere Vizio. I think they're like $60 retail wines, something like that, right? So I imagine this wine is probably meant to have approximately, call it a $50 retail or something in Russia. But in this situation, we made a hell of a deal. The wine is $24.98. So this is $25 for world-class Brunello di Montalcino, Pedigree, everything behind it. Super enticing wine. Click below. We have a bit to work with, actually. This is very exciting. But I would say get your orders in sooner as opposed to later because, because I think this will be popular. I think it'll be popular.